Hello and welcome back to High Altitude Investing and Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a good time. I've been sick, so that's why I haven't uploaded for a couple weeks. It was pretty bad. I completely lost my voice and couldn't talk. So that's, pretty much why I haven't been around to upload for a little, a little while, a couple weeks. It's back now. I'm feeling better for the most part, so I figured I'd make a video for you guys. And since the markets are pretty cool, so today's going to be a price overview. So Poloniex altcoins and a little run over Bitcoin. I did want to point out to you guys that I have updated my site, and it's high altitude investing. Now there's a little funny story about that, actually. That that became the name to my website because I accidentally typed in dude on the domain service I was using. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened. Let me just switch over here so you guys can see what I'm doing here. But when you get to the website, as you can see, highaltitudeinvesting.com. When you get to the website, it'll ask you to join up to my mailing list. I recommend that. I will be, occasionally sending out these prediction charts and stuff like it that will give you guys a better idea, and it's exclusive only to my mailing list of what's happening in these markets, so you can kind of follow that closer. So yeah, I recommend you join my mailing list. It's really easy. Just put your name and your email and subscribe. But yeah, there's just like a little about page and stuff. Just wanted to show you that I had a website up and going. I've got lots of big plans for that in the future, but for now it's pretty simple. So yeah, let's talk about crypto markets. So now, first thing I want to talk about is I did have to withdraw $40 from this account. So we're to $102 right now, but I will be putting back in that money as soon as possible. I had some bills come up that I could not do without taking out that, and I'm not the person to type of person to get in debt. That's against my rules, so I wasn't gonna get a credit card or something to pay my bills. But I will be putting that money back in, and I apologize for that, since this is the high altitude investing account. Let me go ahead and log in here real quick, because sometimes Poloniex logs me out, and I don't really know why. Kind of frustrating. Maybe it's security features. I don't know. If I go, like, I just took a shower. Wow. Now that's really frustrating. That's really frustrating. I should ask him what's up with that, because this actually happens to me kind of often. It concerns me. Maybe I have my laptop connected to the internet here and it's connected to this account, but I'm gonna have to look into that. I guess for this video I won't be signed in because I don't really know what's going on there. It's a little nerve-wracking. I hate it when I have to be concerned about security issues. But yeah, normally it doesn't do that. So I mean, I've had it happen before and nothing's ever came from it, so I'm not actually concerned. And I'm pretty sure it's just because my laptop is connected to the internet right now and it's probably logged in, and so it's kicking me off. But I don't know for sure, especially since I have to go into the other room to look. I probably will here in a minute. Anyways, enough with that. Let's actually get into the market. So the first coin I want to talk about today is Dash, and Dash is one I've been talking about for a little while because I felt like it was gonna start to do really nicely soon, And sure enough, within the past 2 weeks, we've seen this pretty nice little uptrend forming. Actually, a little bit more than 2 weeks, but from 2 weeks from this little 1, 2, 3 continuation here, we've seen this nice little uptrend, and it's good to see in Dash. Thankfully, we have some Dash in our high altitude investing account, so we've been profiting off of this. And I really don't see it going down to like this level again. In fact, I see Dash coming up to test resistance right here at just below 0.02 per Dash. Now, that's just the first major resistance level, and I feel like it's caught enough strength right here that it's gonna actually go up and test that level. And the reason I say that is a couple reasons. First of all, I don't know if you've looked at XMR, and I like to look at it against the US dollar tether because it's accurate as to its new high here, which is $18 per XMR, and it hit that, you know, January 6th-ish, and that, you know, I can attribute that run up, if I was trading this against the US dollar, which I wasn't at the time, and so I actually didn't notice this, but this right here would have been a really good signal to be buying in because of the price movement, and that hard wick down is usually a pretty good signal on an uptrend like this that people are trying to get in on the market still. So that would have been my first signal to really put some good money in, and sure enough it came up and hit this high here. But why is this relevant to Dash's price? Because it's traded against XMR. As you can see, it's up 6% against XMR today, and if you look at the past, this is when XMR did its huge initial run, and Dash just lost a ton of strength against it. And now what we're seeing is a possible formation that could be showing people getting into the market right here. People trying to get into the market. I mean, mainly actually just this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. I don't know where it's going with that. I don't know why I said people getting into the market. Anyways, so this is mainly a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, at least in my opinion. And you know, who knows where this could go. If it starts stealing the price from XMR and starts, you know, running up pretty nicely, then like I said, it would not surprise me one bit if we see it come test this resistance. So I have long positions on, and we have a long position of 4 of it on our high altitude investing account. It's not profiting, I just barely opened it today, but I'm sure it will be profiting within the next couple weeks. So that's, you know, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen with Dash. Now let's go ahead and look at XMR, because this is another one that's all the rage. XMR, woo. You know, I did some margin trading around here. Put some longs in right here, closed them up here, made a few bucks. And honestly, I would not be surprised if this coin like slows down our uptrend that we're seeing in Dash right now for a little while, because I mean, their prices aren't that correlated, to be clear. Like, they could both run up together pretty easily, you know. You don't want to put that out of the scope of possibilities. But they do have correlation still. You can trade them against each other, so that's something to be considering. Now, if they both started running up in this next little while, that would not surprise me one bit. Both of these coins have insane potential. Let's go ahead to coin market cap here. I've pointed this out before. But first of all, you know, the Monero blockchain's worth $167 million, and the Dash blockchain is just below it at $106 million. So, you know, the blockchains, Monero is just above half of double. So it's just, you know, it's not too shy of double, you know, 30 million plus more, and we'll have double the market capitalization of Dash, but Dash is number 6 in market cap. It's doing really well right now, and we have an available supply that's less, so scarcity might drive this up if the demand keeps going where it is right now. So if a lot of people still want it, the scarcity will probably drive this price clear up. It's already worth more than Monero right now. So those are some things to consider. You know, Monero has 13 million where Dash has 7. Now, Dash, to my knowledge, isn't connected to like a darknet market or anything, so the demand isn't nearly as high as Monero. But, you know, people have been buying it up. It's number 3 in volume on Poloniex, and in 24 hours we have 2 million in volume, which is less than Monero, but yeah, it could do really, really nicely still, Dash. Now, Monero, I really don't feel like it's done doing what it's doing with this uptrend. I feel like it will break this high against Bitcoin. Now, when it does that is very debatable, but I do see kind of a short-term test to maybe this 0.012 area or 0.0112 area. You know, this little range in between this 38 and this 23. I expect it to come test that range. It bounced off of it, but it didn't really bounce off of it with like a ton of volume or anything. So I'm kind of expecting it to go down and test that range. That's my short-term thoughts. My long-term thoughts is that it will still come up and break this previous high against Bitcoin. Let's look at the ETH markets, or Ethereum, depending on how classy you are. ETH is still just channeling around at this area here, which is in between 0.0126 and 0.0073. Now, what is Ethereum gonna do? This is pretty hard to say. Now, it could be stopping its downtrend. That's a possibility, because this is a very important spot in support and resistance, and ETC isn't giving me any specific reason to think that it's gonna, you know, outdo Ethereum right now. Now, there's been some gossip and talk about the Ethereum enterprise. Now, if you do a quick Google search to that, you basically find nothing official. So, at least not that I've seen recently. So maybe we'll see something different here in the video. See, I don't see anything official about Ethereum Enterprise. Now, let's go to the official website. Ether. Maybe they have something on their website now. I don't see anything. So there's been talk about this Ethereum Enterprise, and it's basically that the Ethereum project has been working in secret with big banks and I don't even know what, basically corporations and things that I don't agree with personally for the most part, and trying to develop something that will work on top of that. Now, whether they can do it, probably. They can probably get something that will work and help these people out. Now, just because I don't believe in that, just because I don't believe in, you know, the big banks of the world switching to blockchain technology because it's still centralized for the most part in my eyes. I believe in the full decentralization of money so that we have the power of our money, because the second that you let the power of our finances be back in control of the government, then it can be manipulated and abused. So that's, you know, I'm against that on a moral level, but what that might do for the price of Ethereum could profit me. So, you know, I stay open to the fact that it could be a good investment from a purely profitable perspective. Purely profitable perspective, triple P. But I haven't seen anything specific, you know, talking about it. This is when the leak was, you know, it was apparently leaked that they were meeting in secret and doing all of this. Now, it kind of hit its first real resistance level here, and it's kind of coming down. But if this uptrend continues, I expect it to come test this 0.01033 area and continue doing what it's doing, which would be increasing in value. Now, I don't see it doing that unless we see an actual official announcement by the Ethereum Foundation. And maybe I just haven't been able to find it. I've looked around. So if you guys know anything about that, leave it in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear about it. You know, or email me at highaltitudeinvesting.com or at gmail.com. So those are, you know, considerations with Ethereum right now. Now let's check out MadeSafe. This is one that I've been really happy to own. I bought most of it around here, and I'm thinking that it will just be a really incredible investment throughout 2017. This coin has seen some nice swinging in value, but what it's about to do isn't over, or what it's, you know, what it will do isn't over in my eyes. I feel like it's honestly just begun. So it's one that I'm keeping an eye on. It's one that I'm thinking will do really nicely in the next little while, and especially within the next couple months here as it breaks out of these resistance levels. But we'll see. Right now it's at 0.000133377 in price. Our 24-hour move is basically static, but it's at 0.84 up. So, you know, the percentage change is a little bit up. It's basically static, and I could definitely see this coin continuing on its path. And this is one that you can margin trade too, so that always adds to its volume. Let's check out Ripple here. This is one that has been kind of confusing, but you have to remember that Ripple is number 3 in market cap. That means that Ripple's blockchain is worth $258 million, which is pretty cool. Now, sorry about the people downstairs. I can never get my family to be quiet when I do this. It's pretty frustrating, but what can you do? Anyways, so we have this hard wick down right here, and that is an incredible buy signal, something that I've actually recently learned. I mean, I knew about wicks, but I didn't know that when the hard wick down like that, and especially with a green candlestick like this, where the candlestick is still green, that's usually an incredible buy signal. So what I see happening in XRP is a huge run. I feel like this coin is basically one of the best ones to be putting money in right now. And through a history of downtrending, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Last time this coin had a nice hard wick down like this, we've seen it run up to its all-time high. So it's definitely not out of the scope of possibilities that we see it come up and test these major resistance levels. You know, the first one would be channeling in between this 2,500 Satoshi to the 3,500 or 800 Satoshi range. That would be my first like real resistance level. But there we go again, you know, this nice wick down. This one is obviously a red candlestick, so the price is moving down, but it's still people getting into the market, and we haven't seen a real sellout yet. So I feel like this is a really, really good buy right now. XRP is looking good. Now ETC is really dependent on what happens to Ethereum, obviously. Now, if Ethereum doesn't do what I think it's gonna do, and get some release, you know, some type of information or whatever, and actually have a reason to go up, which it's really a 50-50% chance on whether that happens or not at this point. So it makes it really hard for me to want to trade either of these right now just because of that. But if it doesn't, Ethereum Classic will probably be what takes over for a little while, and I would assume that if that is the case, they will have a parity in value. So that's something to keep an eye on, but it's down 3% today, and I really don't have a good reason to buy in on this until I have a good reason to sell out on Ethereum Standard. So if there's any reason to sell out on Ethereum Standard, it's usually when ETC is gonna do amazing. So definitely an easy way to trade those two coins is the correlation between each other. Alright, Factom. Factom is one that has been interesting me a little bit with its price, you know, movement lately. I haven't really decided what it's gonna do. We saw that huge run up here. I'm glad that I closed my long positions and took my profit, because a lot of times in a breakout pattern like that, we see it come back down to where it broke out of. And we see this nice little, you know, trend a little up afterwards, and these couple wicks down right here. But what actually happens to the price in the next little while is pretty hard to determine. I can't really tell you for sure, but I will say that this coin has a lot of volume, a lot of potential. It's one of the ones that's been hard for me to trade, and that's why I have a hard time giving you a good answer on where it's gonna go. But just from what I know, if it doesn't break below this previous low, this coin will do extremely well. If it doesn't break below this coin and break below this level at 0.002284 in the next couple weeks, you know, not very long, next couple weeks, like 3 or 4 tops, then it will definitely break this previous recent high, and I would not be surprised if it goes up to its all-time high, which is, you know, good movement in this coin. But until it gives me a good reason to buy in, like it going up to this 38% at 0.003 0.854, or you know, really that's the first good signal, is if it goes up to that level for me. That's when I will say I want to buy in, but for now I'm not buying in on this coin yet. I definitely don't think its run is over though. I definitely don't think it's done doing what it's doing. It's just been a little harder for me to trade that one. Now Zcash, the one that everybody's always wondering about, including me, because there's a lot of money to be made trading this coin. If you can do it right. There's also a lot of money to be lost trading this coin if you can't do it right. Zcash has been doing some interesting things. There was this little run up here, and I remember everybody in the troll box freaking out, thinking that Zcash was to the moon and be the new future, and Bitcoin is dead and Zcash is the future, and you know, all the classics. By the way, Bitcoin is not dead. I know that's been kind of all the rave lately. If you can use it, it's not dead. So anybody that's calling it dead is hyping and fudding it. They're either trying to dump the value or hype up the value. They're just being idiots, you know. It's not dead. Until I can't use Bitcoin, Bitcoin is not dead. So, alright, Zcash. Now, Zcash, we've seen this huge doji and that huge wick up. And ever since then, it's just been kind of channeling around this area. But Zcash is not telling me to buy this, honestly. Until I see a nice uptrend forming, like significant uptrend with good volume, I don't feel like I'm going to be buying Zcash. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to this low area again, at least for a little while. Now, I don't think it will go down to that previous low I was expecting of 0.025 Bitcoin. I feel like it will hold up around in this channel for a while, but I still think it's going to go down here to test that again before we see an uptrend in Zcash. This is a good technology too. I'm really, I'm happy about Zcash. I think it's something that would be, good for the people. I like the idea of Zcash. Check it out. Go to their website, look at it. Litecoin. This is a pretty interesting one recently. We've seen some good trading volume. It's kind of dumped off pretty hard since these spikes and dumps that it's been having right here. It's a little spike up and then dump off, spike up and then dump off. Now, the reason that Litecoin is doing this is because Litecoin is adding segregated witness into their technology soon, their blockchain and their code, and that will be kind of like a test run for Bitcoin if it gets it before Bitcoin does. And segregated witness is, a really great concept and idea. I don't know everything about it. I've tried to educate myself pretty good on it. It will, basically add more size in the blocks, more room in the blocks. And it's just, at least a good short-term solution for scaling, and it might add a way to have more long-term solutions to scaling, because scaling is a pretty big issue in this technology. It's kind of hard to understand how it would work if the entire world used it. But honestly, my argument is that how would it not work? Like, yes, there's a lot of issues in it, and you can bring up the main issues, but I kind of think we have to give it a shot, because some of the stuff is all theory and some of it's just what might happen, and it's just like, oh, this is how people might think of it. Now, I don't think Bitcoin will ever be the main currency that's mass adopted. I personally believe that it will be something like XMR or some type of altcoin that's a little bit more flexible for the general society. Now, I don't think Bitcoin will die. I feel like Bitcoin is going to stay, around here forever. It'll just be more of like an alternative source of, value, kind of like a backup or like gold. It'll be more of like a storage of long-term value. And I don't ever see Bitcoin leaving. It will stay, but that's I kind of think it will be converted to that and less of a transactional based currency like some of these other coins will be able to offer in a little bit more of a controllable manner. So that's kind of what I think is happening. Now Litecoin's price will be hard for me in the next little while. I don't know exactly what's happening here, but I suspect that it will come test this low. I suspect it will come down to 0.0040 and test that low a little bit, play around there. And the reason I say that is because I want a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom to form. But this coin has a lot of value potential, especially if segregated witness and stuff starts happening. This will be an incredible investment. So I don't think that if you're thinking long term, right now is a great time to buy. If you're thinking short term, I'd wait a minute, I'd wait a little bit, maybe short it on margin trading even, depending on what your trading style is. So that's what I'm thinking with Litecoin. Now, Stratus is up almost 20%, and this is one that I've noticed, breaking out the other day, so I went ahead and bought some. So I'm glad that I went ahead and bought some Stratus. Now, I honestly think this will probably keep going for a little while. This is, in my opinion, since Stratus got added, this will probably be our first little pump up in price and value in Stratus, and it's just beginning. So get on the Stratus chain. I don't think it's too overinflated to buy right now. It might come down, but within the next couple days or so, this coin will probably be pumping up very nicely. Pot has had some nice pumps recently. I was trading it during these times, making a little bit of money, day trading it. I like day trading pot. It's a pretty good way to make money because it has good volatility. But long term, this is an incredible chart pattern. Like, this is what I would to die for in a long term chart pattern, with this huge, run up, and there's just this casual but sure increase in value here. It's just, gonna exponentially start running up here. And this is one that I feel like is a great buy today, and is probably gonna be an incredible, investment within the next month or two. This is one I really want people to keep their eye on, is Potcoin. And honestly, I don't even know why. I don't understand the technology very well. There's some pluses and some benefits to it, but I don't understand it on that type of level as far as like the technology goes. But I do know that the chart pattern is to die for. So I really have a lot of faith in this coin going up in the next little while. So keep an eye on that. Last two I was going to look at would be Nexium. Nexium is one that has started to look like it's doing a breakout pattern here and could make a nice run up in value. It's also one of the new coins added pretty recently. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. It's up 10% today. Now, I kind of think it will find support real quick though at this 2900 Satoshi range, but we'll see. time will tell. You know, it's all subjective. There's risk involved in trading. You know, blah blah blah, normal stuff. And then the other one will be Poloniex, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to my YouTube channel here and check out. I believe I had somebody that wanted me to review a coin in my last altcoin overview. Staying away from any thoughts on Stratus. Yes, I already did Stratus, so that's good. And Waves. And similar to Waves, but based on the Bitcoin blockchain. You know, honestly, I don't understand the technology behind Stratus. I would recommend checking out their website and reading in their About section for that. Now, Storage Coin is a great buy, in my opinion, even up 14% like this, because I'd be holding long term. It came and tested this 23, and it will come up and oscillate around in this area again, or at least come up to that area again. And that area is in the 0.00025 to 0.00019 range, and it kind of channeled there, and I definitely feel like it's going to go up to that spot again. So if you buy in, I would be setting sell orders around there, because I don't know exactly how much it will run up, but I think it's going to go up to that point again. Alright, a couple honorable mentions, or just ones that I don't have time to look at the chart pattern, but I am personally holding right now, is Folding Coin, Cure Coin, where is it? EMC Squared. That one I'm holding. There's another one that was I wanted to mention as kind of a little honorable mention here. LBC. I'm holding that one long term. Accidentally clicked on the chart. Oh, DCR. That's another one that I'm holding right now. And where is this last one that I was really wanting to mention? It's not XC. No, that's Counterparty. Aha, here we go. An XBC. No, I lied. That's not it. That's Bitcoin Plus. Come on, Alan. Wow. Haha, here we go. Magicoin XMG. This is the other one I'm holding. Mainly because when I saw this breakout right here, it was my signal that this coin will start an uptrend. So that's why I'm holding it right now. But we'll see. Now let's go over and check Bitcoin out, because this is a pretty important one. And Bitcoin, the reason that Bitcoin dumped off is because Chinese exchanges were getting investigated by the Chinese government, and that actually happened on the 17th, so a couple days ago, where the investigation began, and they stopped all margin trading out there on like most of the exchanges. According to my understanding, there's no margin trading in China for Bitcoin, or at least not on the main exchanges, and that's why Bitcoin dumped off right here. Is just, you know, a lot of the Chinese exchanges were accounting for volume and stuff, so it made people really concerned as to where the price is going to go. In my opinion, this is a good thing. Excuse me. This is a good thing, especially long term for Bitcoin, because we don't want a bunch of zero fee trading, which was what was going on, because that really can encourage market manipulation and price manipulation, but this is an incredible time to be buying Bitcoin. I have long positions. I've been using a website called Magner, and this is an incredible website. I highly recommend it. You can do Bitcoin trading and margin trading, and there's a savings account which has a fixed static rate of 1% interest, at least until June of this year. So this is a great spot to be putting Bitcoin in. You know, you can have a little savings calculator here. Say you have 1 Bitcoin. That means that every year you're getting 0.01 Bitcoin in interest. So that's not bad, you know. You have 50 Bitcoin and you get half a Bitcoin. That's $900 a year. Good luck getting 50 Bitcoin though. That's pretty impressive. And if you have 50 Bitcoin, I love you. You're cool. So yeah, I recommend using Magner. I've been using it, and it's pretty good. You can do margin trading and all that good stuff, up to 10x leverage. So definitely one to check out. And I have long positions on Bitcoin that I'm profiting on. This little formation right here is a good formation. It's basically a 1, 2, 3 bottom continuation pattern. And I like that triangle shape that it formed. It's very, very mathematical. And, you know, Bitcoin has been kind of channeling in this area since the dump, but it's definitely going to go above this high. And, you know, Janet Yellen actually talked about it, which is funny because I talk a bunch of crap on her because every time she talks, I've noticed Bitcoin actually takes off. So I was surprised when she talked about blockchain technology, and I feel like that has a lot of influence on Bitcoin. For some reason, people hate her. Well, I don't know if they hate her or what, but there's correlation between the Federal Reserve, and she's chairman of the Federal Reserve, head chairman. I don't know what her exact thing is. Let me see. It's the first ever woman to be chair of the United States Federal Reserve. Yeah. So ever since, you know, she's been put into office, every time she talks, Bitcoin runs up in value. And you can check this out. You can go look at the time that she talks and then correlate it. And like when she got put in is when Bitcoin ran clear up to its peak the first time. The first huge peak at, you know, $1,150. That's when she got put in. So that's a correlation that I've been I've been really looking at that, and I wanted to share that with you guys because it's important and it could help a lot of people out. So, you know, that's something to keep your eye on. I do not think that Bitcoin is gonna go down. I don't think we started a downtrend. I don't think Bitcoin is dead. Don't believe all the FUD and the hype, whatever. I personally believe Bitcoin will continue doing what it's doing. And this is just a natural price correction. This is what happens every time. You know, people think it's insane, but when we had this run up to 700, it came down and tested where it broke out of. So just because we have this run up in value up to $1,100 doesn't mean it's strange that it's coming down and testing where it broke out of. It's happened before in Bitcoin, and it will probably happen again. So, you know, don't believe all the hype and the FUD, like I've been saying, and, you know, yeah. So, that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. I appreciate your time. I would ask if you could, you know, if you like this channel and if you like what I'm doing and you want to see me keep doing this, I'm kind of in a financial situation right now and I don't want to ask for money because of that, but I do accept donations, and it would really show support to me and help me out if you guys could donate. If you like what I'm doing, you know, whatever amount I accept in Bitcoin and Monero and Dash and Ethereum, whatever you can will help me a lot to keep this channel up and running, and to, you know, keep me going. So I accept donations, and really this is a great time in these markets, so I'm hoping that you guys can be making money. I've been making a little bit of money trading, and I hope this video helped you guys out today. And as always, stay profitable.